Hello, happy Wednesday, and welcome to another episode of Q&A Wednesdays. I'm your host, Intelexx, and before we jump into it, let's get the promo out of the way. All right, so if you have any products, services, a business, or a brand that you need help with in any type of way, go to Intelexx.com. See all of the products and services that we offer. See if there's anything that aligns with you. And if it does, connect with us. Book a free consultation so you can get a customized plan for your specific, unique artistic needs. Follow us on all social media platforms. Subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can see all of our content. Subscribe to our email list so you can see what we have going on for the month. And join our intellectual community, our app, the Artrepreneurs Hub, so you can stay in the know, on the know, see things that we don't show you on social media, or see it before it hits social media, and a way for you to just be in a place of community, a place of support, being around like-minded individuals with the same goal in mind to help you reach your goals, where you can bounce ideas off of each other, share content, ask questions, and so much more. It's just a place for you. All right, go to the Mighty Networks app, create an account, search for us, and we are right there waiting for you to come join us. All right, so we are going to jump right on in to another segment of Q&A Wednesdays. If you have not been keeping up with us for the past couple months, you definitely want to go back and get caught up with all of the segments that we have, because they have been so amazing. All right, so the topic that we have for you is, how can we heal ourselves? This is part 6. So if this is your first time tuning in, welcome. You got some catching up to do. All right, so we are going to jump on in. We've been getting a lot of information on how you can heal yourself mentally, emotionally, physically, just overall health, right? That's what we are promoting. That's what we all need to be doing. Okay, so yes, let's jump right on into this and hear what we're going to hear today.
But on the day of surgery, she was very nervous, understandably so. And I was also, so I said to the doc, please can I carry her into theatre just to alleviate her fears? And he kindly allowed me to do that. And I carried her into theatre after scrubbing up and putting on all the stuff. And she was in my arms as we put the gas mask over her face, and she fell asleep in my arms. I handed her over to the doc. Operation was a great success. When she came around, I was there in the recovery room, and she was out the next day. But 1 month later, we were at my house and having a braai with a bunch of mates and some family. And we were standing in a circle, and Blythe was standing next to me, holding onto my leg as young girls do. And one of my friends said to her, Blythe, I believe you were in hospital recently. And she looked up at him and she said, yes, my heart was broken. That's how she saw it. Then she said, but my daddy fixed it. She saw me as her hero, as the man who fixed her heart. And I tell you what, I had to excuse myself and go and regather my manhood and my masculinity before coming back to the crowd. But the gift she gave me that day was realizing that as her father, I did hold her heart in my hands. She viewed me as a hero. And I realized that as a father, I held not only her heart, but my son's heart. And how I pitched up as a father would have a massive impact on their lives. And so this started a journey for me of really taking fatherhood very, very seriously. If you look at my son Luke, he's the older one of the two, the questions on his heart, the question of competence, do I have what it takes? The question of, Dad, show me how to be a man. Do I have what it takes, and show me how to be a man? These are the questions he would ask me. I remember coming home from work and he would rush out to meet me, and he'd want to wrestle me, and he wanted to show me that he's tough, he's strong, he's got what it takes. He wanted me to be there, and he wanted me to model to him what it means to be a man. When he turned 13, I decided to put together a rites of passage program, and I took 8 of my friends and a diverse group of men that I really admired and respected. And we went away on a weekend, and I asked them to bring a message to my son, just to impart to him a message about what it means to be a man, and to validate him. We had the most beautiful weekend. But what struck me the most about that weekend was not so much the impact it had on my son, but the impact it had on the other men. Every one of those men came to me afterwards, and some were kind of emotional and said, Craig, this showed me what I never got growing up. And subsequent to that, we've run, and we still do that, run a lot of camps for men and interventions for men. And in every one of them, we take time to validate each other as men. And you see young boys cry out for the validation of an older man. They cry out, why do you think boys join gangs? Boys join gangs to be part of a family. They join gangs to be validated, accepted into this group, this tribe where they belong, and they're validated. And they'll often do crazy things that go totally against their value system to be accepted into a gang because that's where they belong. A lot of men are very scared to speak up against the people in their group, even if they see them doing wrong, because they want to be accepted and validated. And these men came to me and they said, I never got this growing up. And we often on these camps take turns to validate each other's men. And it's a sacred space, man, where we would just say, hey, man, Jack, I see you a man amongst men. And as a man, I honor you and I validate you. Powerful stuff. Boys don't grow up with this. They don't grow up having been validated. I chatted to a young guy many, many years ago. I was in leadership, youth leadership in a church, and a young guy came to me and he told me the story. He was, I think, 16 at the time, and he said, he went away on holiday with his family. He had the kind of dad that was there but not there. The kind of guy that's just, he's physically present but he's not emotionally engaged. And he said they arrived at this holiday resort and he saw a river and he saw a bunch of guys fishing on the river. And he wanted to fish too, but he had no idea how to fish. He was about 11 or 10 at the time. And his dad wasn't the kind of guy who would take him fishing. So he got up the next morning and he walked down to the river and he had a pin which he bent into the shape of a hook. And he tied a piece of string to the pin and he sat on the side of the banks of the river and he tried to fish. And of course, caught nothing. And he sat there for an hour, 2 hours, and he eventually got up so disillusioned. He walked away and he threw the hook down and he just wandered off despondent. Now imagine if that, and that story didn't end well. 5 or 6 years after he chatted to me, that young man took his life. But imagine if an older man had come by while he was sitting there, or an older boy or his father had come and said, hey, I see you trying to fish. Let me help you. And he pulled out a fishing kit and he pulled out a hook and a rod and a line and he taught him how to thread the hook and he taught him how to put bait on the hook and he taught him how to cast it in. And imagine if that young guy was sitting on the side of the banks and he cooked his first fish and this older guy said, hey, well done. You've got what it takes, Two things would have happened. He would have validated him in his ability to be a man, to catch the fish, and he would have taught him how to fish. And that's what we as young guys want, young boys growing up into adulthood from their fathers. They want to be taught how to fish, how to do life, how to love a woman, how to balance the books, how to just do life. And they want to be validated. They want to be told, you've got what it takes. You don't have to play the man to be the man. You are the man. Whatever height you are, whatever ethnicity, whatever you are is exactly what God wanted you to be. And it's enough. And it's as good as anyone else. And you've got what it takes. And let me show you how to do life. I mean, if every boy grew up with that kind of father, man, we'd live in a different kind of world. And this is what boys want from their fathers. They want that from their fathers. If you look at girls, what they want from their father, a father is his daughter's first love, her first romance. He sets the bar as to what it is, the love between a man and a woman. How he treats the mother of, her mother, how he treats her mother shows her how valuable women are, because he's the most important man in her life. I remember my daughter Blythe, I used to come home from work as well, and my son would come barreling out and we'd wrestle and fight and roughhouse. And Blythe would do that sometimes too, jump on me, hi dad. But sometimes, and we played a little game like this, it developed into a little game. She would stay in the house and she would be in her bedroom or be in a dining room doing homework. And I could hear her giggling when I opened the door. I say, where's my precious girl? And the game was I would go from room to room, finding her, seeking her out. And when I got to the room where she was, I would say, oh, there's my Blythe, And I would light up and I'd go over and she just loved this. And what I realized was that she wanted me to seek her out. She wanted me to pursue her heart. She wanted me to be that man in her life who.
What did y'all think about that? I'm a story girl myself, and I like to hear stories that have a purpose. And just listening to his story, he's talking about healing and different ways that people can heal, which is making an impact on somebody can heal them, right? Just being yourself, loving on them, love heals. Being a support system is healing. Having that help for someone else when they might need it is healing. You never know what you are doing for someone else until you actually do it, right? You never know how someone else is impacted by what you do. So don't stop being you. Don't stop doing what you're doing because somebody is benefiting from that. Okay? Um, so let's jump back into the story because I want to hear how it ends.
Loved her enough to take the time out of my schedule and go room to room finding her. And when I found her, to be delighted in her. She wanted me to romance her, to love her, to care for her, to nurture her. And the question on her heart is, am I worth pursuing? And a dad has to answer that question emphatically. You are worth pursuing. Am I lovely, Dad? You are so lovely, man. Any man who pursues you is just the most lucky man in the world. And you know, when a girl has this question answered by her father, she grows up very, very solid in her self-esteem and her belief and her knowledge of who she is. When she grows up seeing her father treat other women with respect and value and nurture and care and be a safe space, she grows up knowing that women are worthy, and women are worthy only of a man who respects them, loves them, treats them as an equal. And so these are the questions boys and girls ask of their fathers growing up. And it's absolutely crucial that these questions get answered. So few people grow up having these answered. And what happens when we grow up as a boy not having had that question answered? We grow up with a sense of inadequacy, that I'm not enough, that I don't have what it takes. And when I believe I don't have what it takes, I act out in many, many different ways. I can act aggressively, domineering. I can withdraw into all kinds of habits and addictions to make me feel better about myself. I can become very passive. I don't believe I've got what it takes. I'm not going to fight for anything. A girl grows up not having had these crucial questions answered by her father. And look, I'm not talking about the mom. The mom is equally important as the father, plays a different role and answers different questions, but equally important. And when a girl grows up not having had these questions answered, there's an insecurity in herself. And that can play out in many, many ways as well. She doesn't believe she has beauty, so she often replaces duty for beauty. She'll believe that her only value and only worth is in doing things, in performing things, in being the mother, whereas she doesn't realize that in and of herself, she is a tremendous gift to the world. It affects our relationships. A girl who grows up with a very distant father, emotionally unavailable father, will often unconsciously seek out a man who is exactly the same, emotionally unavailable, not there, distant. Why? Because she's longing to fix what was wrong in her father. A boy who grows up with a father who treats women badly is often likely to do the same. And so if you look at the most important role models in a young girl's life and a young boy's life, it's the parents. But the most important role model in a boy's life to model masculinity to him is his father. The most important role model in a girl's life to model what it means to be a strong, powerful, gracious woman is her mother. As a father, I cannot model to my daughter how to be a woman. As my wife, she cannot model to my son how to be a man. We both have to do that. And so we grow up on this perilous journey, and wounds are inflicted on our souls and our hearts and our minds, unwittingly often, by absent fathers, by fathers who are performance-driven, that they only value you when you do well on your report card or do well on you score a goal in the soccer side. And so we grow up, boys and girls, into men and women with a wound in our heart, with a sense of insecurity, with a sense of inadequacy, without a sense of deep belonging. This is who I am. This is my place. A sense of identity. I know exactly who I am. A sense of validity. Man, my life is legitimate. I'm the real deal. Not better or worse than anybody else. A sense of purpose and destiny. I mean, these are the things that we need to grow up with, and parents play such a crucial role. And here's the thing. Very few of us arrive at adulthood completely unwounded, completely emotionally whole. And for us to be the most powerful force for good that we want to be, for us to be a danger to the danger, we need to be emotionally whole, emotionally okay. And it's often necessary, in fact, it's always necessary for us to go on a journey of wholeness. We did not, and this is so crucial, we did not hold the pen that wrote the story of our early childhood lives. Someone else held that pen. But we do hold the pen now. You're an adult. I'm an adult. We hold the pen now. And it's up to us to write a powerful story. You know, the beautiful saying that the pen is mightier than the sword. Yes, it is. And the pen of your life, the story of your life and the story of my life, which is written now by ourselves because that pen is in our hands, is something that you and I need to take responsibility for, that we need to write. And often it means we need to go through a process of dealing with the wounds, the insecurities, the hang-ups, the triggers, the angers, the bad habits that we have, the negative emotions. A powerful saying is that the voice of your father and the voice of your mother as a child becomes the voice of your internal dialogue as an adult. And we need to change the script of that voice. Any voice that says you're not good enough, any voice that says you don't have what it takes, that you don't really belong, that you is a lie. And we need to rejig and recreate that narrative to have the correct narrative about you and I. And we need to take that pen, man, and we need to treat it as a sword. And we need to write the story of our lives in such a way that this world will never forget that you were here and that you will realize potential to be the most powerful force for good on earth that you can possibly be. Remember, being dangerous but good is being the most whole, effective, together person that you can possibly be and making the most possible, the greatest possible good you possibly can on earth. We all have the potential to do that. And so I'm going to be talking a lot in days to come about how to be your best physical version, emotional version, spiritual version of yourself, how to be the best communicator, basically how to be a powerful force for good. But it really starts with this. It starts with looking in the mirror and looking at myself and saying, where are my insecurities? So many people grow up with an orphaned heart. You can grow up in a household with both parents and yet have an orphaned heart. An orphaned heart is a heart that feels unseen, unloved, unnourished, unnurtured, unvalidated. And we need to realize that we're not orphans, man. We live in a beautiful world and we have a beautiful role to play. And we need to go through a process of examining ourselves, examining our journey. Every one of us carries a bit of baggage into adulthood. And your effectiveness as a human being will depend on how well you deal with that baggage. Am I going to carry it around with me for the rest of my life, hindering me, holding me back, affecting my relationships, my habits, my emotions? Or am I going to go through an intentional, deliberate process of unpacking that baggage, getting rid of it, resorting my life, refathering myself, and coming to the point where I'm writing a beautiful story, a powerful story, a story that impacts the world for good? You are dangerous. Take that pen, use it as a sword, write a beautiful story. See you next time.
All right, what did you all think about that story? All right, like I said, I like stories with a good catch, a good message, and that's what we got today. Some things that he talked about was the mindset. Be mindful of what you are thinking, especially about yourself, because that determines how you see yourself and determines how you carry yourself. It determines how you will walk, how you will talk, how you will act, and how you will treat others, right? And it could create unhealthy decisions in your life, which could create uh, a path of you going down the wrong road to where you have to do healing later, right? So just being mindful of the role models that you have, the people that you are surrounding yourself with. What are they doing? How are they pouring into you, right? Because how they pour into you also has an effect on how you see yourself as well. And if you're getting unhealthy pourings from others, including yourself, what you think you're going to get back? What you think you're going to put out? Unhealthiness, right? And we are in the business of getting healthy. And so just to remember that it's not in doing things or doing a lot of things that your worth should be found in. Your worth is your worth based on who you are, not what you do. You know, what you do is a direct result of who you are and how you think and the habits that you have and the lifestyle that you live. But it's not based on just the things that you do, you know, and just having to have your life full of, oh, I need to do this, I need to be here, I need to do that, I need to go there, and this is where your worth is found. No, your worth was already there before you started doing all the things. All right, so just to remember that. And in order to be a powerful force, we have to be emotionally whole, physically whole, mentally whole, spiritually whole, right? when you are intentional about being on your healing journey, which is a journey, it's not a destination, it's a forever long journey. It's not going to take a couple years. You might take a couple years to heal from a certain situation or a certain circumstance or whatever might have happened, an incident. You might take a couple years to heal from that, but healing is a lifelong journey. All right, so buckle up for the ride because we are all on this journey together. We might not be on the same path, we might not be in the same place, but we are all healing. We all have stuff that we need to heal from our past, from our present, and possibly from our future. We might need to heal from that when it comes, right? So, yes, just be intentional about your healing. And things that you could do is just be honest with yourself to really evaluate who you are, how you think about yourself, the people that you surround yourself with, the things that you feed on mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, to see where you are and what needs to change. Take action, and take accountability for how you are treating yourself. You only have one life and no one else can live it but you. So just be mindful of that. Listen, healing is real and it is a process, right? It does hurt. Healing is not always beautiful. For anybody who's ever had surgery, you hurt first. After surgery, you still in pain until you're able to manage it better. Surgery, any type of surgery, hip replacement, knee replacement, having children, right? Getting stitched up, having a broken bone. All of that is painful. Like even after you fix what's wrong or you fix what's broken, you still go through pain. So don't think because you're on a healing journey and you are still in pain that you are not going through the healing journey. Healing hurts, but it's worth it. All right. So just take a moment to really put yourself on the forefront and figure out how you can heal and be a better whole person for you. Not through validation of others, not through what other people think you might need. What do you need to heal? Because only you can answer that question. And if you have to go into meditation, if you need to fast for a few days, if you need to just disappear for a little bit and be in isolation just so you can get your mind right and get out of the way of all the other distractions, you'll be good to go. But that's my go-to. That's what I do to help heal myself. I write down, all of the things that help me, all the things that might confuse me or make me feel like, I don't know, this might be affecting me in the wrong type of way. Who am I hanging around? Who am I talking to? What am I feeding on? What am I doing to actually help heal myself in the process? And if you have a disability or if you have mental health that you deal with and you might be diagnosed with, that adds an extra layer to the type of healing that you need. Having coping skills, doing your daily routines, applying what you learn, not just having all this information and you're not doing anything with it. All of those things matter. All right, so don't let anyone shun you for where you are on your journey. We are all on different areas of our journey. All right, be true to you. Get what you need to get so that you can heal. And let's heal together. All right. So that is our episode for today. I hope you all enjoyed it. We'll be back next time for part 7. So stay tuned. But we got something else in store for you on how you can heal and how I can heal, how we can heal ourselves. All right. We try so hard to get information or step outside of ourselves when we have all that we need within us. We just got to tap into that. All right. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this. And until next time, have an amazing day and enjoy the rest of your week. Intelexx here, and welcome to Intelexx Artrepreneur Agency, the Indeed for Artists. If you want to be a part of the intellectual community, check us out. We have so much going on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and everywhere in between. And we even got our own app, okay? So make sure to check us out. Go to Intelexx.com. Go to our link tree. Look us up on social media at Intelexx APC so that we can best serve you. All right, we thank you so much for being a part of our vision. You know, we appreciate you, and we wouldn't be here without all of our amazing subscribers and supporters. Don't forget to sign up for the talent show every month, and someone always leaves with a prize. And don't forget to take advantage of all of our special offers, our events, our merch, our resources, our referrals, because we are here to serve you, okay? And thank you for the love. Until next time.